The time has come! The time is now. I'm C-Train. This is the station. Golden State Warriors fans, how's it going? How we doing? How are you enjoying the videos? I hope that, I got some trade rumors out there. I talk about some signings, some offseason possibilities, even draft stuff. We're having fun here at the station. But the time has come. The Warriors, right now, by essentially, it's pretty much too late, but definitely by the end of Summer League, they must find out what they have in Moses Moody, G. Santos, Lester Quinones, Pat Spencer, and still, they need to figure out what they have and what they are doing with Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah, so many players, so much talent that the Warriors need to appraise. They are in for it. I do not envy their front office, honestly, and Mike Dunleavy Jr., because their coaching staff and their front office have to make some really, really tough decisions, because the Warriors have to, it's time. The Warriors have to push back into contention. They only have a couple more years left, of Steph's absolute prime, and they need to most definitely see and have appraised these players. It stinks. I say that they need to find out. They should have already found out. They literally should. You see how, honestly, you see how Trace Jackson Davis and Brandon Pajensky aren't on this list? They kind of know what they have in those guys. No, seriously though, right? And they know a lot of that ability. Can you agree with me, Dub Nation? We haven't seen that type of consistency or even talent appraisal with Moses Moody, for example. It's like the verdict is still completely out. And that's an issue. Because if the verdict is out after 2-3 years, right? Does that say something? And if that says something, do the Warriors need to then move and consolidate some of these talents, right? For talent that might be better suited for the squad. Okay? So, these are those 5 players: Moody, Santos, Quinones, Spencer, and still Kuminga. I know, we could sort of put Kuminga out of there, and that's fine. But he does come up a little bit later in this conversation with myself. In this conversation. So, you need to keep Kuminga in mind, because he's also on the Golden State Warriors. So, okay. When contemplating this, I just been watching a whole lot of G League footage, of limited footage of what we do have of players like Pat Spencer and G. Santos. Here's what we know of Santos, and here is my claim, and here's what I'm saying. I absolutely think... Okay, in a video where I talk about Deni Avdija being perfect for the Warriors, I say that they should trade Kevon Looney, Moses Moody, and change for Deni Avdija. I don't know if the Wizards would do that, honestly, still, but hear me out on this Moody thing, okay? If you got rid of Moody, just think about this. I think that Santos would have just as much of an impact as Moody, given the time. Maybe a little bit worse, maybe a little bit better. The long story short of it is, I know that Deni Avdija, for example, a guy like Deni Avdija, could really help the Warriors right now, right? I do not know if Moses Moody can really help the Warriors right now. So what you need to do is consolidate some of that talent that might be better on other squads, and then get talent like an Avdija. Okay, so here is a reason. I love what Santos has brought to the table, and a lot of this is like a Santos appreciation video right here, because what I believe he's done and is going to do, he should have already done it in the eyes of Coach Kerr and those in the know who actually have hands on with him, but he is pushing players that are on the squad, such like forwards. He is pushing the likes of a Moses Moody, like easily, who are sort of like on that fringes of the squad. He can push those players out, which will allow for value to be had in trading a quality talent. This is all actually good news for the Warriors. What did Santos do last season in the NBA with the first team when he got some time? Okay, well his averages were his splits 50% from the field, 37% from beyond the arc, and 94% free throw shooter. I love that. I absolutely love that. Some of the questions were, could he shoot? And I think that he's proven. That he can spread the floor a little bit. He is a bigger player. He runs like 6'7", 6'8", and he's put on substantial amount of good weight over the past few years. So I really look, when we are looking about ways to improve the squad so the Warriors can contend, I think that we should look at players like Santos, who have really shown. Please watch the video of the Utah game when Santos was called up. He looked amazing, like seriously, legitimately looked really, really good. And he fit the squad. He fit the mold. I believe Santos fits the mold. I don't know if Moody and Kuminga do. I think that Quinones is just like, I think that he is decent. And I don't know what the Warriors have in Pat Spencer either. But when he did play, when he got a few minutes, he is selfless, great passer, good defender. He seems like he could contribute to a winning squad. He definitely does. Okay, so bottom line, the Warriors have to assess their talent. They have to know. And I think that they should know before the draft. I think they should know what they're going to do right now. And if I were them, I would consolidate the likes of a Kuminga and a Moody, and I would hope that in elevated role, which would still be in the margins, but like a solid squad role for Di Santos would definitely benefit the club. Hey, let's check out the stats. That last game in Utah, the last game of the season, it actually did. I don't know if it ended up mattering, whatever, in the long run. However, I think that the game did matter when it started. Okay? So this is a real game, NBA game. The Jazz didn't feel that great of a squad or anything like that. However, this really stuck out. This really sticks out. And it has to stick out for you. This is where it's won and lost, Warriors fans. This is where the analysts or whatever, I'm definitely trying to tell you something and prove a point. In NBA action, when things did count, the last game of the season, Santos had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and his plus minus was plus 18. Santos, 13, 5 and 2, I believe with a steal as well, but his plus minus was plus 18. Okay? In more minutes, Kuminga, so Jonathan Kuminga had more minutes than Santos. He played like 6 more minutes than Santos. Kuminga, no points, one more time, 0 points. The guy who said he was unstoppable one-on-one or whatever, even though the Warriors don't really play one-on-one ball. The guy who went out to the media and stuff like that. Yeah, in the last game, in the final game, the thing that's going to resonate is his donut. He had 0 points. I don't like that. That doesn't rub me the right way. Okay? What really also doesn't is that his plus minus, Jonathan Kuminga's plus minus, he was a minus 18. Okay. So when we're talking about comparing players, it's like, okay, when they both were on the same team in the same game against the same team, against the same team in the same game. This is all the same. This is all equal grounds. One player got 13, 5, and 2 with a plus and minus of plus 18. Another player was 0 points, 7 assists, minus 18, plus and minus. Which player do you want? Which player do you want? It's so easy. It's so easy. And yes, of course, I'm taking this in this one game vacuum and stuff like that because that's one of the only opportunities we have to do that. It's like the only time where they all play together. So I just implore you, please go and watch the one time where they all played together and tell me what you see. And if your eyes think that you're deceiving you, look at the stats. We have to do this. The Warriors have to do this. One more time. The Warriors have to do this. The Warriors have to do this. This is where the work is done. The work is done in reviewing these games and seeing the value that these players had in said games. Pat Spencer, I believe, I don't have it with me, I think he had like 9 points or so in that Utah game. Okay? Some players are taking advantage of their opportunities with hunger and passion, and some players are telling the media that they are unstoppable one-on-one, and then when they have opportunities to lead the team, get 0 points. That's not my fault. Excuse me, why is that my fault? Nobody ever blamed the fact that Kuminga said, I am unguarded, nobody can guard me one-on-one, and then went out in the final game and had no points. That's not my fault, it's his fault. My fault is 0 in that. Kuminga's fault is 100%. He was the one who said it. He said he was unstoppable. He didn't have any points. How many points did he have? None. Why did he have no points? Why aren't you scoring? Why aren't you scoring? Why aren't you scoring? Why aren't you scoring? Why aren't you scoring, Kuminga? Why aren't you scoring? What's going on? What's going on? It's like, that's the one thing that kills the C trade. It's the one thing. It literally, it destroys the programming, is when a player says one thing and makes a claim and then does everything to not back up that said claim. Well, what do you want me to do? Excuse me. Do you want me, Warriors fans, Dub Nation, do you want me to say, I heard Kuminga say and go to the media and say that he was unstoppable, he was stopped a lot and had 0 points, and that's great. You want me to do that? They'll lose. The Warriors will lose. They won't win again. Everybody's going to be unhappy if that happens. You have to follow your eyes and then look at the stats and see if they match up. But for the love of everything, it's like, you can't follow just the stuff that comes out of Kuminga's mouth, because it's like, dude, he says one thing and then he does another. And I'll tell you what, I got on Podziemski way early, because for a lot of the time that the same thing happened. It is tough, and it will get at you at an analyst when things are said and then they're like not done. So it's like, for example, like the Warriors were always aiming for that 6th seed. They were always getting to the 6th. They were always looking to get that 6th seed like forever. And then they just settled for a play. And that's not good enough. That's not close to good enough. But I digress. The Podziemski thing was that when Podziemski was drafted, like just soon after, he said he wanted to average a triple-double in Summer League. And he said that the Warriors were going to go undefeated in the Summer League and that he wanted to win that championship. He didn't average a triple-double. Didn't even get close to it. The Warriors played horribly and they didn't win a championship. I have to hold players. What else are we? We have to be accountable for the things that we say. We have to back our talk up. I'm the one. If you look at my TikTok, for example, I just destroyed Kuminga just now. Before the play-in game, I was I kept on saying, I give Kuminga permission to kill. He needs to just take souls out there. Try to score 100. Try to score 300 points if you're Jonathan Kuminga. Say, I want to score, but you can't go out and give me what he consistently gives after you say what you consistently say, because then you're just not backing it up. If we are to So like this is just a critique. I love Kuminga seriously, but when the things don't add up, what we're doing now, it's like following a prize fighter that like is saying that they're the best, and then they keep getting beat. It's like at some point, it's like fool me once, shame on you, right? Fool me twice. What's going on? Can't fool me again. Anyway, sorry. That was anyways, if you know, you know. So, it's all about that talent analysis. Oh, it matters so much. Y'all, it matters so much. And this is, I'll just give you, I'll end with this. Like, here are, okay, players that were successfully scouted and utilized by the Warriors in the past include the likes of like an Otto Porter Jr., that's like a more big time. How about, because I'm bringing up Quinones, I'm bringing up guys like Moody, Spencer, and Santos, right? How about this? Try this one on. I think that Santos could be a combination of Damian Lee and Juan Toscano Anderson. One more time, I think that G. Santos can have the ability and effect on the Warriors of a combination of a Damian Lee, albeit a worse shooting Damian Lee from Beyond the Arc, and from Damian Lee, and I digress. But you could have a Damian Lee and freaking Juan Toscano Anderson. Sorry, Juan Toscano Anderson just completely escaped my mind just now. That was a brain freeze moment for a second. But yes, we want that type of combination play when we're looking at Santos. So if we could project Santos to that type of role, we're able to move auxiliary pieces to get something that we really, really need that fits. So, look, I'm not trying to push Kuminga out. All I'm saying is that with him talking a lot of smack and then not backing it up in like the play-in game and the final games, he's doing that himself. He's pushing himself out, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm just like saying what he did. Okay. So this is all good though. It's still all great. For all intents and purposes right now, for the Warriors, the status right now is like Kuminga is still like untradeable and so holds high value, and Santos is still on the team. So the Warriors have great options if they're able to successfully appraise and coach up their talent. And it starts with players like Pat Spencer and G. Santos. Till next time, C-Train is out.